drive of the 2019 Chevrolet Silverado. We drive Silverado with new 2.7 turbo 4 and dynamic fuel management V8. Milford, Michigan, Chevrolet's 2019 Silverado half-ton pickup truck will tackle the base Ford F-150 3.3-liter Ti-VCT and Ram 1500 Pentastar 3.6-liter V6 engines with an all-new 2.7-liter turbocharged inline 4, which it rates at 310 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 348 pounds-feet of torque at 1,500 to 4,000 revolutions per minute. The 2.7 turbo replaces the 4.3-liter V6 in high-volume trim models, though the V6 remains standard in high-value versions. From a limited, short first drive in a couple of 19 Chevy Silverados, we've got to wonder whether its maker is sandbagging a bit, even though the Ford F-150 2.7-liter EcoBoost V-6 makes 15 horsepower and 52 pound-feet more torque. Our test driver, a Silverado LT Crew Cab, was quick off the line with virtually no turbo lag and felt ready to tackle V8 pickups once in that wide torque band. There was a delay at tip-in from a full stop, but that turned out to be the truck engine's stop-start system that, unlike those in Chevy sedans with stop-start, has a defeat button. The 2.7-liter Turbo 4, which was designed purely for truck applications, couples to GM's 8L908 speed automatic and has none of the ponderousness of the 2018 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab with the base 4.3-liter V6 and 6-speed auto that General Motors provided for comparison purposes. Chevy says the dual-volute turbocharger has a quicker response than a twin-scroll one. It has separate septums for the 1 to 4 and 2 to 3 cylinders, resulting in 90% of peak torque in less than 1.93 seconds. Chevy engineers say the Silverado LT Crew Cab is 380 pounds lighter than the outgoing Silverado LT Crew Cab with that V6, an engine that carries over only on the high-value work truck custom and custom Trail Boss trim levels. The 5.3-liter V8 will be optional on those trucks when they go on sale later this year. The 2.7-liter Turbo 4 is standard on the high-volume LT, RST, and LT Trail Boss models. All Trail Bosses get a 2-inch factory lift kit and will account for about 10% of sales, Chevy says. The 5.3-liter V8, rated 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet, also combined with the 8-speed automatic, will be optional. Later in the 19 model year, the new 3.0-liter Duramax i6 turbo diesel, coupled to the 10-speed automatic, will be the top option. The high-feature LTZ and High Country come with the 5.3 V8 and 8-speed automatic standard, or the 6.2-liter V8, rated at 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-feet, coupled to the 10-speed automatic, as well as the option of the diesel. We also drove the 19 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab with the 5.3 V8 and its new, standard dynamic fuel management system back-to-back with an 18 LT Crew Cab with the 5.3 V8 and active fuel management. The 19 Silverado 5.3 V8 weighs about 450 pounds less than the 18 Silverado with the 5.3 V8 and 6-speed automatic, in part due to the T1 truck's mixed material strategy, says full-size pickup marketing chief Sandor Pischer. The big upgrade in the new model, beyond ride and handling, is that DFM, which GM engineers developed with Thule based on that company's skip-fire system, deactivates cylinders in any combination from 8 down to 2, while the outgoing AFM only switches between 8 and 4. DFM makes 80 decisions per second, or 1 every 12.5 milliseconds, says Tim Herrick, executive chief engineer for the next-generation full-size trucks. There are 29 available such cylinder modes, but we're using 17, he adds, as the other 12 can cause too much noise and vibration interference. As with AFM in the old V8-equipped models, the FM will come with both the 5.3-liter and the 6.2-liter engines. Valves on the DFM V8 are turned on and off by oil control valves, says Joe Folk, assistant chief engineer for the small block truck engines, and DFM operates on average 61% of the time with less than 8 cylinders, compared with 48% for AFM. And it operates with fewer than 4 cylinders 16% of the time. Unlike AFM, there will be no dashboard display indicating each mode, so Chevy placed a fraction meter display on the dash of our test track. The number 1 on the screen indicates running on all 8, with fractions of 1/2 down to 1/4, with other fractions in between, even 1/3. 1/3 of 8 cylinders. In this case, DFM is skipping the first and second cylinders, and fires off the third, sixth and back around to the first cylinder, except by now it probably has readjusted to another mode for other torque needs. If we could tell you even a portion of the sequence is displayed on the meter, we'd be guilty of distracted driving. It changes that quickly, with no noticeable feel. The 19 Silverado is the best driving truck we've ever built, Eric says, and we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss overall dynamics. The 2019 Chevrolet Silverado is still a full-size truck, which means that unladen, it provides a fairly stiff ride over the MILFORD Proving Grounds real-world test road, though it's much smoother than the outgoing pickup. As a backseat passenger on one big bump in particular, the outgoing truck bumped us off the seat's surface, while the new one didn't. It would take back-to-back comparisons to prove, but the Silverado certainly is a contender for best pickup truck ride in the industry. Steering feels light and precise, and a bit quicker than the 18 models. Chevy says the big new Silverado drives smaller than it is, though we'll wait for a drive in real-world traffic before we can confirm the claim. We don't see much future for the high-value 4.3-liter V6, which gets no substantial upgrades for 2019. The 2.7-liter Turbo 4 and the DFM V8s, both designed for significant fuel efficiency gains, can squeeze out the V6 out except on price. The 2.7 is the first of a new 4-cylinder engine family, though any other displacement sizes, no doubt smaller in displacement, will be for smaller, lighter cars and SUVs. Engine chief engineer Jordan Lee says it's designed, contrary to most modern turbocharged 4s, to deliver better real-world miles per gallon than the to-be-determined EPA numbers. The Turbo 4 is powerful and torquey enough for GM's upcoming 20 model year SUVs, and breathed on heavier than its 22 pound per square inch of boost, and 10-to-1 compression ratio, would make for a dandy Colorado competitor to the inevitable Ford Ranger Raptor. The 2019 Chevrolet Silverado goes on sale late this summer, but as GM sells down the old model, dealerships aren't due for significant inventory until the last quarter of this year.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe for more story.